Welcome, listeners. You have tuned in to Up Close at QuinteALIVE. We've unearthed another gem in Quinte. Confidence, boldness, depth permeate every cell of this industry leader. This interview is for everyone wanting to advance their career and for those who want one. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Audrey Prenzel. Audrey Prenzel, such a pleasure to be with you today. Did I pronounce your name right?
You did.
Prenzel. What is that? Is that a German derivative?
It is a German name, yeah.
So you speak German as well?
I do speak German. My husband's Dirk, so there you go.
There you go. There you go. So you're a very special person to have been selected in our 10 most fascinating people of Quinte. It's funny because we've been tweeting each other for the last, I don't know how long.
Several years.
And you're pretty humble in your tweets. I did not realize, and it makes me practice my own belief, look deeper, look deeper, look deeper. And I was absolutely thrown by your background and the depth of your skill and the market that you serve. Now, we just did a study recently that people in Quinte are interested in people that are local going global.
Right.
They like to see their folks succeed. You're that person. You want to tell us a little bit?
Yes.
Oh, in a sense. There goes that humility again. Tell the people what it is that you do, if you can do that in a few sound bites.
Well, sure. I mean, as a career transition expert based here in Trenton, from my lovely home office, I have clients on the go from over 30 countries. So what I'm doing is I market people. So that might mean writing career collateral, as we call it, a resume or a CV, depending on where you are. Cover letter, getting a LinkedIn profile good to go, and then helping people unearth the unadvertised job market, how to deal with the advertised job market, deal with recruiters, deal with interviews, that whole space. So I do that from here. I help local folks, but I also help people from just about anywhere due to technology.
Mm-hmm. We've just spent a couple of hours talking, and you are one fascinating woman, and you're hilarious too.
Well, a good sense of humor bodes me well, and others too, I guess, yeah.
Yes, but you're also brutally frank. You know, thank God I'm not here to see you to build a job or an interview or get ready for one. I'm still quaking, but you tell people like it is and what it is to get into the working world now. One of the things that you announced to me that, you know, about 60% of your customer base is the Navy, the Army, RCAF,
Right.
Especially, you know, here being in Trenton, and they are entering the civilian world, which is almost a shock of cultures.
Very shocking.
Yeah. Talk about the different cultures. What are the, you know, what do you think are the top culture shocks from somebody going from a disciplined, hubris-filled world of the defense sector, going into team playing, you know, culture saturated corporate business?
Well, I deal with a lot of military people, as you say, transitioning into the civilian sector. A lot of the challenges they face, number one can be the lingo, you know, just retooling what they say. After that, it can often be identifying the skills that are transferable. So, you know, what did you do in the military? What does that translate to in the civilian world? Sometimes we don't want to translate all their skills. Sometimes we're just picking and selecting just the most important ones, given what the person's career objective is. And then there's the whole cultural thing. So there's the whole military operational environment, you know, the protocols, how to deal with people, how to get things done. And then when you have to go to the civilian work world, what's the corporate culture like? So I always coach people Do a lot of research, ask a lot of questions, and if they're involved and if they've started their research long before they're going to exit the military, they're usually very well prepared because they've done their hunting and pecking or their recce, so that they understand what the workplace culture is like for wherever they want to work or the type of field they want to get into. They probably, if they've been doing their homework and networking enough, they've been contacting already people who are in that field at that place. Hopefully that's where the value of LinkedIn and street line or street level networking comes in. So it's a process, and I'm glad you've asked about that, because it's once they get that licked or understood, then the transition isn't so bad. The documents are good to go, but you got to have the right mindset to enter the civilian sector.
Mm-hmm. You told me that they come in unprepared with resumes and things like that. They don't have these things, but they come in with a great big binder of reports, and you have to distill all of that and turn that into a very brief presentation. Yes.
Well, that's right. I mean, I'll be looking at people's, MPRRs or PERs and all these other Bravo, Zulu, attaboy type documents, and I distill what makes sense and what we need to keep and what we need to get rid of, and then a lot of questions, a lot of dialogue goes back and forth so I can squeeze what I need out of them to market them, and usually try and fit them on 2 pages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really 2 different worlds, isn't it? And then, of course, you serve the civilians who are, wanting to continue the civilian sector. I don't know if there's a bunch of high-ranking civilians who, actually, would use the word ranking. I'm using an army term there. There we go. Who want to go into the defense world, but invariably, you're serving these people across Canada. Customers come to you from Vancouver to PEI, I guess. Yep. And you've got some Americans coming to you as well. So, and you've got a bit of a reach into international sectors. So, your accolades are impressive.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, to read your bio is very humbling. I'm in the presence of royalty here. And it sounds like you're, no, but really, truly in the recruitment world, I had no idea. I'm probably going to tweet different now. I'm gonna be careful when I tweet to you.
Hey, but remember, I got that sense of humor, so it's all right.
I gotta be on your good side. You're a good person to know. But for the civilians, again, civilians, see, we're using a word for people in executive management or whatever who are looking for a job, that's or a new job, or to replace themselves or advance their careers, to grow, move, whatever their objectives are. You're the gal. You're the one who really knows what is the latest trends, how to communicate, what are the challenges, and it's changing, isn't it? Like, it changes every couple of years, doesn't it?
I think it's changes since we started talking here. I mean, it's a fluid environment. You never know. Right. I mean, basically, I market people. So what does that mean? That never means the same 2 things for the same 2 type of people. It's all about strategy and timing, and what are we going to do, and what do we need, and where do we want to go, and how much do we want to make, and what's my field, and what's my level. So it's a very crazy, busy process, and sometimes it can take. It's not uncommon for somebody who's very particular about where they want to go, the field, the industry, at the location within Canada or elsewhere, to start working with me 2 years beforehand, because it can take that. It can take that long if someone's very particular, and a lot of people are.
We spoke about the 3 key assets, the cover letter, the curriculum vitae, that's Latin for CV or Latin for resume, and we talked about LinkedIn as being a weird 3rd asset to develop. It's almost perfunctory now. And we also talked about monsters.com as a place that people used to go to, and I don't think I've heard that name in a long time. It seems to be that the resource people are going out to find the people in these places.
That's right. You want to be found. You want to be searchable. So, I mean, the first thing, a good recruiter or an HR person or a decision maker is going to make is they're going to Google you. They want to say, hey, who's this applicant? Someone's applied to a job. Somebody's just sent me a cold call letter. Someone's just sent me a networking letter. who are these people? So they're gonna search you out. And they say that if you don't exist online, then professionally you don't exist. So make sure you're active online. People still matter, but technology is huge. Technology is huge in this whole process.
And we also talked about the CV being live. And we hadn't chatted about that yet, but the keywords in customizing your CV and your letter seem to be in play, so that if somebody maybe in the recruitment ad is mentioning XYZ to pepper, I shouldn't be putting your words in, but I'm thinking a strategy, if I were strategizing to move in somewhere, that I would pepper my CV and my letter with those keywords.
Absolutely. So you want it in the resume, you want it in the cover letter, you want it in your CV, whatever you're going to call it. You also want to make sure it's in your LinkedIn profile. And there are certain parts of a LinkedIn profile where it matters more than others. And to talk techie or geek speak, the most heavily indexed field on the LinkedIn profile is that little box right underneath your name. So when you have your picture and you have the name and you have the box underneath, that's what you need to make sure you want people to find you. So technology keywords, the hyperlink skills and expertise section on LinkedIn, that matters. And just within a document, when a resume goes in a database, a selection committee person, an HR person, they're keying in the keywords that they're looking for. And so if your document doesn't have those keywords peppered in, I like that word, by the way, in whatever they're searching for, if your document doesn't have that match, you're not gonna be found.